Okay, so we're going to learn today how to use Autotune. In this case, I'm using Logic Pro, but it's the same thing if you try to use it with any other digital audio workstation. So in this case, I'm using Logic Pro X. And all we have to do is, first of all, open Autotune. You can choose from any of these three. This is very high pitch notes. We have the next section, which is this. You want to know exactly which key your song is at. How do you figure this out? It depends on the chords that you're using on the song. So for instance, let's say that you're using F, G, and then D minor, and then a C. Well, you can probably by default just look at this table and it will tell you exactly which key are you in just by looking at the chords we are using. The only exception is usually this seventh note that may change just a little bit, but besides that, most of the other chords should match this table, which I recommend you to screenshot this so you can have it with you, and it will be very helpful anytime you're trying to figure out the key of a song. So that's one way, and the best way actually it is by looking at the chords and figuring out how many alterations do you have. For instance, if I'm using let's say I have the following chords: D, E minor, and then C and G. Let's say I have these chords, and then I try to figure out, okay, G, B, D, so that's the notes for G. Then I have C, E, G, okay, and then E. Will be for my E minor, and then D, F sharp, A, and you take a look at these notes that create your chords. And if you don't know exactly which notes create your chords, don't worry about it. I have this table over here. It has all the possible notes that you're going to need. Make sure you focus on the major and the minor only. And then from there, you can see which notes create those chords. And so make sure you take a screenshot of these as well. Major and minor chord, just those two over there on this side. Those are the ones that you have to worry about. And for instance, if I have an A chord, all I'm looking for is the notes that will create that chord, and then I can figure out if what key are those on. So for instance, if I'm using only these four chords, I have only one alteration, which is F sharp. And then once you figure out how many alterations do you have, since I have an F sharp, I go to this table and it says, oh, F sharp. So that means the song might be in G or E minor. And then I go back to the song and I start with a D. So that means I have to use the G major. What happens if I choose an E minor? It's still going to correct it, since G and E minor share the same note. So it doesn't matter if you put either one of those, they are going to work on your song. Going back into this, so once you figure out the key of your song, then you select it over here. In this case, they don't have the sharp, they're using flats, but it's the same thing, like D. D flat is basically this note out here, D flat. So D flat can be also C sharp, okay, if you want to see it that way. And let's say you have an over here like F sharp. Well, F sharp is also G flat, okay. So once you select your key, then you come over here and you have major and minor. The other ones over here is like, we have more options, but let's say we always focus on the first two, on the major and then minor, natural minor, which are the two most common chords that we are going to be using on songs, okay? So once you have this, so first you go over here, input type, what type of voice, then what key the song is, so that you can basically use the right notes for this device to tune. So what happens if I put a C? You see over here it changes the notes. So you want to make sure you put the right key in there. And then once you have that, the next thing you have to worry about retune speed and correction style. These are the two I use the most. I don't basically mess around with these two. I just use these two. Most of the time you want to use it like between, we'll say, 30 and 10. That's kind of like the sweet point if you're trying to sound very natural. And if you want it to sound more robotic, so you can hit all the way to 0 and it will sound robotic. And over here, if you click on classic, it will sound very robotic. If you click on flex tune, it kind of like makes it more natural to me sound. And most of the time I use it like, we'll say right here, 38. I mean, I use it between 40 and 20 most of the time, but the best way is to use it between 30 and 10. What happens if you use it any other, I would say, let's say over here, 50? Well, what is this happening is the pitch is going to be just somewhere around there, but you can always play around with these, so until you find the style of voice that you wanna get at the end, and also how much pitch correction do you want. So this is basically the button that will decide, you are going to decide how much pitch correction do I want. So retune speed, that's that button that you need to do that. And so this is basically one way to correct. Another way is just to use the graph over here, but this is more advanced and you need a lot of patience, and it's more detailed. You can do it, but if you have a good take and you have minor issues, just by doing these over here, the key and these two over here, that's all you need pretty much to have a very good vocal in a good pitch. Okay, so I hope this video helped you. Don't forget to subscribe and hope to see you in the next videos. Bye bye.